All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. We're talking true crime. We're going to start off with an update about Sebastian Rogers, of course, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We do have some encouraging news that was put out last night. We're going to talk about a couple other missing people also. So come on in, grab your coffee and a snack. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm Chevy Cool Lady. This is a place we discuss true crime, current events, mysterious history, and other interesting things. So come on in and let's talk about the update. Now, there's been an update for the Sebastian Rogers case. This came overnight. At night, private intelligence said they found a significant breakthrough, and it's soon to be announced. They're keeping us on eggshells. Hopefully, this is good news. They said 24 investigators have been in Tennessee, as well as others, and they've identified a person of interest. They're rapidly working to locate these people and are asking the public if you have any knowledge that would be helpful in reaching and resolving this case in one way or another, you can call 833 tell dog. All right, so they did say this is an alarming new overnight tip. So it's questionable about what's going on. Let's all hope for the best. Let's bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home. He has been missing for far too long, for over 9 months. This 15-year-old young man who is vulnerable due to his autism, vulnerable due to the situation he's in, he needs to be found. He needs to come home. He needs to be rescued. He needs to be brought to jury. Justice needs to be done for Sebastian, and we're praying that this will lead to it. At Night has said that they will be releasing this information very soon, so let's just hope so. Now, there's been clues concerning a burner phone. Nick the Hat wrote kind of a cryptic little poem about a burner phone and Sebastian being sold to a secret line. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this world. Let's hope to God that's not the case. Hey, come on in, Allie. It's so nice to see you today. Justice for Sebastian. We are all about finding this young man, spreading awareness for him and other missing people. But this young man, he's been gone far too long, and we're going to put this out and hope for the best. The significant breakthrough soon to be announced by At Night, private intelligence. So that's what's come out last night. There's also been a possible sighting. This was a sighting that took place the morning of his disappearance. A dark truck in Jackson, Tennessee, at a gas station. He possibly was seen with an older person in their 50s the morning of the disappearance. What could this be about? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think it's the parents of Chris Proudfoot? Do you think it's him? What do y'all think? It's hard to say what's going on with this case. This has been a case that just has been perplexing, I think, for anybody. He, of course, is the 15-year-old autistic young man missing for 9 months, vanished into three air. There's been a lot of breaking news around this case, a lot of speculation, a lot of real craziness, if you asked me, on the online chats with content creators. There's been lawsuits and protective orders issued. There's been all kinds of crazy things, and it's about time for this case to be resolved. So Let's just hope so. There's still information. Hey, how you doing? I love my dog. Hi, baby. And there is still a $200,000 reward for this young man. We are against all types of domestic violence. We speak out against it, about coercive control, and I'd like to explain what that is real briefly. It's a pattern of behavior that is intended to exert power or control over survivor. These behaviors deprive survivors of their independence and can make them feel isolated and scared. This can have a serious impact on a survivor's day-to-day life and well-being. The coercive control behavior includes isolation, controlling what you wear, what you eat, controlling who you see, who you spend time with, who is on your social media, gaslighting, monitoring your behavior, tracking you on phone or on a cell phone or in a car, controlling your finances, controlling your ability to earn money or what you're spending your money on. Coercive control is a crime. If you are in a situation that you are being abused, I do have a hotline and a helpline for you. That is 800-799-7233. And you can also text BEGIN, BEGIN, 88788. And we want to give you the tools here to stay safe. We're also going to be talking about some other missing cases that have come up here. I want to go over this information one more time about Sebastian. Say his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We haven't forgotten him. We need you home, Sebastian. Come home, and I pray you're safe. As I was stating, there's been an overnight update. At night, private intelligence claims to have a significant breakthrough in this case. We do have to wait for them to release it. So I can't tell you exactly what it is. Does it have something to do with the sighting at the gas station? Does it have something to do with the green hoodie guy? I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out soon. They're working rapidly to locate this person. And you can call 833-TELL-DOG if you have any information pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. We have a missing mom named Suzanne Simpson. Suzanne Simpson went missing on October 6th. She's the mother of 4 kids, and she's married to a man named Brad Simpson, and they're located in Austin, Texas. Okay, so there's been some charges brought in this case. So let me go ahead and let you know what's going on. Suzanne has not been seen since October 6th. She's a very successful realtor. They live in a $1.5 million home. Suzanne actually was seen by a neighbor on the evening of October 5th having a physical altercation with her husband Brad on their front lawn. Later, the neighbor claims to have heard screaming from a wooded lot behind the house. This area was investigated. No items that were found seem to be related to the case. She seems to have also disappeared into thin air. However, it seems that this has taken a tragic case because her husband Brad has been charged with murder. You see, Suzanne has no history of abandonment. They have arrested her husband, okay, due to a whole list of very suspicious behavior, besides just the witness who claims to have seen a physical altercation. Apparently, they had been out in the evening um, at a social event. There was an incident that took place at the event, arguing, carrying on between the two. The problem persisted and continued, as the neighbor stated, into a fight on their front lawn. The fight was physical, and I don't know if that neighbor reported it to the police. I don't know why he wouldn't, especially if later on that evening he heard screaming from a wooded lot. I don't know. I hadn't heard. Had this been reported at that time? I don't know. But there are some crazy things along with that. Let's see. Or I said San Antonio. They're from San Antonio, not Austin. I'm sorry about that. Now, there's been a lot of suspicious behavior. This happened about 2 months ago, and the grand jury has indicted Brad Simpson for murder of his wife, Suzanne Simpson. She's a Texas mother who vanished without a trace October 6th. About 11 p.m. was the last sighting of her. The following day, the husband reported her missing. Her 4 children said she has never done anything like this. Her youngest is 5 and claims to have witnessed an argument between the parents where the husband, Brad, took his wife's phone. Unfortunately, when the police showed up, they did find 3 phones and a laptop in their burn pit. Burnt. So that means evidence that's on those phones are going to be a lot harder to collect. I did a little research on the collecting of digital evidence. Hi guys, come on in. Okay, Ellie, you're at a hair appointment and you'll watch later. Thank you so much. I hope your hair comes out beautiful. What does a husband do for work? Good question. Well, I know she's a realtor, and I don't really know what he does. I will look that up though, and I will definitely put that in there. Good question. Now, they found 3 phones and a laptop in the burn pit. What was interesting is the phones, or at least his phone, had been put on a lockdown mode. So what is a lockdown mode? It makes it difficult to retrieve evidence, but it's not impossible. The fact that they were burned also makes it difficult, but not impossible, to get this evidence off the phone. But, they don't put up with this stuff in Texas. They've gone ahead and arrested him, indicted him, and it might be a year before it goes to trial. But right now, he's on a $3 million bond. So I don't think he's going to come up with that money. Now, the digital evidence suggests that he turned off the location, which makes it hard to track the movement, but they can track it through a couple different ways. One, of course, is the cell phone towers. Even if the phone was off, when he turned it back on, it'll make pings at the closest cell tower. They can track his movement that way. There's also Wi-Fi data available through the towers as well. The charges that he's facing, Brad, is murder, aggravated assault, tampering with a corpse, and possible possession of a deadly weapon, although no weapon or her body have been found. So right now, technically, she's missing. But it looks like all the evidence points to murder, and Texas isn't putting up with that and have put him in jail. And I hope he stays there, assuming he's guilty. I just feel so bad for the kids. The youngest is only 5 years old. now the kids don't have any parents there. It's so sad. She was last seen in a long black dress and heels. There's a picture of her coming from that social event. You know, it's a big mystery what happened. And I hope they, if she is passed away, I hope they have her body soon so that they can bring this into resolution and find out exactly what did happen. It's a shame, and it's sad that that child witnessed the event too. Have you all heard about this? If you know anything about it, I have a number for you, 210-822-2000. Again, 210-822-2000. And we'll see what happens with that case when more evidence and facts come. I wanted also to bring up another missing person, because Chevy Cool Lady cares about people, and my heart really goes out to people who are missing their loved ones. It's such a frustrating position to be in, and you really don't get the kind of help that you would think that you would get from law enforcement and media. Sometimes the media doesn't even pick up these cases, and you know, unless people like me get on the air and just bring awareness, a lot of these cases end up going cold and are swept under the rug, and justice is not served. So we're not going to let this happen. We're not going to let it happen to Sebastian. We're not letting it happen to Suzanne. And we're not going to let it happen to Jennifer Hawkins. Jennifer Hawkins, 53-year-old mom, missing in Kentucky. She's a nurse with Lexington Center Federal Prison. She's been there for over 10 years. Jennifer is also deaf. She was wearing hearing aids, which her husband feels are not working. Her cell phone isn't working. She was supposed to go to work. He called her at work, and she had never showed up. So somewhere between home and work in Lexington, about, I think, an hour away, she vanished. Her husband said that her car was found the next morning in Danville, where they live, at a McDonald's. How did her car get back to Danville? That was his question. I'm wondering, did it ever leave Danville? Did she ever even make it out of Danville? What happened to her? So frustrating. She was last seen Wednesday morning. She's a nurse, as I stated, for over 10 years. She's deaf. She doesn't have, apparently, her hearing aids working. I guess they're you know, need charging or something. But for some reason, her husband said that he didn't think they were working. The phone went right through to voicemail when he tried it, so it either didn't have a charge either, and who knows. Derek is her husband. They've been married for over 32 years, and they have 6 kids. So this little family needs their mom back, and we're bringing her name to the public attention. If you know anything, then please say something. A lot of these cases involve domestic abuse, domestic violence. Very few cases, in my opinion, are random strangers. You know, so somebody knows something about these cases. Somebody needs to say something, and these people need to be found. Now, I'm Chevy Cool Lady. For you, those of you who are just joining me, if this is your first time visit, welcome. If you're a returning sub, guys, you mean the world to me. I truly love you with all my heart. Please like, subscribe, share the information, get the awareness out. We're expecting the law to do it. We're expecting the media to do it. And unfortunately, they're letting these people, these families of the missing, down. We're spreading awareness because we care. This is a safe place to visit. We discuss true crime, current events, strange things in history, and Christian issues. If this sounds like a place that you'd like to be a part of, please subscribe. We'd love to have you on board. Thanks so much, you guys. You're the coolest. We also have ways for you to join with super chats and stickers. We have lives, club perks, the cool club, the cooler club, and of course the coolest club, because I think y'all are the coolest. We have merchandise in the works, and I'm going to have some cute little items for you. Some hats, t-shirts, towels with our little spy lady, Chevy Cool Lady, on them for you. Now, I just want to let you know that all opinions expressed here are strictly my own. We're not a judge or jury, and everything is just based on the information I'm finding on the internet and police reports, newscasts, and other interviews. We have an opinion, but we also remain open to other people's opinions. I want y'all to join in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what your theories are. This is a place to discuss things that are outside the box, and all your opinions are welcome. So thanks a lot for tuning in, you guys. I wanted to bring those 3 cases up to you today, and we're going to go back over some more information on the Sebastian Rogers case. All right, guys. Give me just a second to go through my notes. If you don't have a snack, go ahead and grab one, because we're going to dig right into the facts of the case as we know them. All right. Now, as you know, Sebastian Rogers has been missing for over 9 months. So let's go ahead and take a look. I brought up coercive control a few minutes ago because I see that kind of behavior in almost every true crime case. And coercive control is a pattern of behavior designed to manipulate and control the victim. This is wrong. Nobody deserves to be treated in a coercive way. Coercive control also leads to, also physical abuse and other type of things that happen, domestic violence. And the behaviors deprive survivors of their independence to make their own decisions. It takes away your voice. It takes away your critical thinking. So I want to give you some tools as we go through these things that you can use to regain your voice if you happen to be in that type of relationship. Coercive behavior, coercive controlling behavior includes isolation, controlling what you wear, eat, or do, controlling who you see or spend time with, and it prevents you from accessing the support you need. Gaslighting, monitoring your behavior, whether it's online or in person, tracking you on your phone or by putting tracking devices on your car. We've seen that in so many cases. Controlling your finances, your ability to earn money or spend it how you want to spend it. There's often emotional or physical abuse, intimidating behavior, threatening to disclose information that would be embarrassing to you, humiliating or degrading to you, repeatedly pulling you down or making you feel fearful or scared of non-compliance. The helpline is 800-799-7233, 1-800-799-SAFE. You can also text the word BEGIN, BEGIN, to receive some help. Now, creating a personal safety plan is vital. I did a video a couple days ago about establishing a personal plan for your safety. When you're in the transition stage, deciding to leave your DV relationship, you're actually in a very dangerous place, and you have to think and not just act spontaneously, and you have to plan things out so that you stay safe, so people know where you are and people know what's going on. But not just any people, you need very trusted people, because you don't want this getting back to your abuser, do you? If you're keeping notes, and I highly recommend you journal, whether it's online or on a notebook, keep times, dates, take pictures, videos, write what happened, where it happened, and who was involved, and who might be a witness to these events. In your safety plan, keep numbers of people that you know will come and pick you up, no matter what time of the day or night. And if you leave and don't want to be alone, put the numbers of people that will stay with you, because being alone, being isolated, is the devil's playground in this situation. And I want you guys to stay safe. You can get online and actually fill out a plan with an online checklist. And it's good to do that before you're in the throes of an emergency where you can't even think straight. But to have something written down with all your information, to have a bag packed with a change of clothes, if you have children, their birth certificates, social security cards, ATM card, spare keys for the car, for the home, whatever you might need. Even a burner phone, because a lot of times in domestic violence situation, it's the phone that gets destroyed or confiscated by the abuser. They want to keep you down. They're gonna cut you off at every pass that they can. So think ahead. Make a few moves before they start making moves. You know, it's being smart with your safety. You're important, and I want you guys to be safe. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Sebastian and some things that have come up. I have a whole notebook full of notes on Sebastian. When I first got involved with this case, it was because I was a little late coming in. I started really wondering what was going on when I heard about possible RICO indictments, organized crime again, or organized crime cases against content creators. I was like, what the heck is going on? Then I found out it's been a circus. It's been a circus. And it still is in a lot of ways. There's a lot of rumors and speculations going on concerning Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we want this young man brought home. We want him brought home safe. And so let's go ahead and talk about that there's been a lot of harmful spread of misinformation, exploitation, and obstruction to the investigation. I'm not going to mention names of these creators. I'm sure you all are familiar with them. Hi, Beach Bell. Love you, sis. Thank you for joining me. We don't want any delay in justice for Sebastian and for his family. We don't want anything to undermine the search, and we don't want any false narratives getting out. It doesn't do any good, does it? There's legal strategy involved here, fundamental freedoms and wrong happenings in Tennessee impacting the search for Sebastian. There's been cyberbullying and harassment, basically of everybody that's been involved. People have chosen sides, and in my opinion, with good reason, because the more interviews that have been done, the more online bickering, the more shards of truth have been slipping out. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers gone for over 9 months, soon to be 16 years old, a child with autism. It makes him vulnerable. Is he a victim of child trafficking? These things have been coming out. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Anything is possible. And that's why we need to bring awareness, because somebody knows something out there. And if you know something, say something. The reward right now is up to $200,000. He's missing from Sumner County in Henderson, Tennessee. Tennessee seems to be really slipping and messing up and letting a lot of people slip through the cracks, because they have a very high number of missing people, especially children. And I don't understand that. Children just don't vanish into thin air, do they? So what's really going on? It's hard to say. What do y'all think's going on? It would seem when the interview first started coming out that I watched the behavior panel. It was after the first interview with, or that I saw anyway, with Chronicles of Olivia. I think at that time, it was a new case, and you can't help but have sympathy and empathy for the parents. So while she's interviewing them, yeah, I think she was, just trying to be kind and nice, and maybe not press for the answers. But still, there was a lot of information that came out in those interviews. Some very suspicious behavior. For example, we are going to kind of start from the beginning of this case and work our way through it. Okay, so basically, I started taking a lot of notes on this and watching as many interviews as I could find, so that I could get a clear grip. When I first entered in, I noticed there was a lot of hate towards CP and KP, especially CP. And after watching a lot of interviews, I have to ask, why was he so determined to be in control of all the conversations? It's a good question, because he was not there when Sebastian disappeared. Just for your information, just a little background, what was going on. Apparently, he had spent the day of the 25th, February 25th, 2024, with his mom and a relative or relatives at, an activity center, having a good time. They went to Texas Roadhouse. This has been confirmed that he at least made it that far on the 25th. There, apparently, just recently, Katie Proudfoot was seen talking to a man or a person in a green hoodie. It looked to be a dark green or olive green type of a hoodie. We've seen the pictures that were put out by the TBI and FBI and Dog the Bounty Hunter. They were asking for people to send in any type of videos, any information, pictures, anything that they might have seen at Texas Roadhouse that night, and people responded. So now they're searching, I believe, still for the green hoodie person, when last night apparently another tip came in concerning an undisclosed situation. Now, I don't know if it was about the green hoodie guy, or there was also a possible sighting of Sebastian the morning of his disappearance, of February 26th, at a gas station with in a dark colored truck with an older person in their 50s. We've also seen that Dog the Bounty Hunter has located a spot near the grandparents' home. They're actually searching to get satellite evidence to confirm what happened in that area. Why has that area come up? Is it because of the grandparents? Do they have knowledge? There's been searches going on at many locations, basically all the border states. So it went into an international search. Did he go into Canada? Did he go somewhere else? We don't know. Because if he went into those areas, It's for sure he was taken. We don't know whether he was abducted. His parents were claiming for a long time he just walked out that door, which was also very strange. When you don't know what happens, how can you be so sure he walked out that door? That was one of the main clues that made me suspicious about them. What did you all think? What do you think happened to him? You let me know what your ideas are. One idea is just as good as another when nobody knows what happened, isn't there? Oh, wow. It's such a tangled case. And it's one that needs to be resolved. So Sebastian was last seen then on the 25th. This has been confirmed apparently. There is a $200,000 reward for the resolution of this case. Was there or was there not surveillance at Texas Roadhouse? I don't know. Have y'all seen anything released? And why wasn't there? There's always cameras everywhere. So I never understood that part. Early on in the case, we saw a video where lights that were said to be a garbage truck, but that doesn't make any sense. First of all, there wasn't enough lights. It didn't look like a garbage truck. It looked like two people with flashlights, or even a suggestion that people were on four-wheelers or something like that in the yard is another possibility. We don't know. They tried to brush that one under the rug as well. I saw Chris Proudfoot say, "Oh, we know what that was. That was nothing." And when somebody says that was nothing, when there's a missing child, how can you say that? How can you be so sure? I know if my child's missing, I'm not going to discount anything. Anything. Would you? They at one point said that there was they brought in canines and they followed a scent and found barefoot tracks leading to a retention pond behind the house by a construction area. Then they said that the footprint wasn't the right size. The story goes that Sebastian left. His parents said he walked out the door. We don't really believe that, but that's what they claim. They said he went out without any shoes. When asked about the shoes, it was crazy. Katie, the mom, was like, "I'm not going to discuss how many shoes that he has. I'm just going to say they're all at the house." That's crazy. Okay, to me, that's first of all, how do you know that all his shoes were there? Does he just have one pair of shoes? That would be easy. But most kids have more than one pair of shoes, and a lot of times they're spread all over the house. It would take me days to figure out if my child's shoes were still there, if there wasn't a pair there. It would take me a while. Not only that, I remember Seth talking about a new pair of boots he bought the child. Were they still there at the house too? I'd hate to think of him leaving in bare feet, especially after finding out that he didn't like to be in barefoot. He had an incident as a youngster where ants got on his feet. He also is autistic, and the sensitivity and stimulation of the bare feet probably is annoying to him. But he's not one just to be outside in bare feet. He had been sent to bed, or was in his room around 9, I guess, after spending the afternoon and evening with his mom and relatives. He and his mom were alone at the house. Chris Proudfoot was several hours away in Memphis, Tennessee, by the St. Jude, where he was doing construction, running a crane. This is another part of the story that doesn't make sense. She got up around 6 or so and went to call him to get up, and he wasn't there. She said she ran around the house. He wasn't anywhere. Went outside, wasn't up there. Called Chris. And that part bothers me, because why wouldn't she call 911? Why is she calling a man 3 hours away who wasn't there to begin with first? Wouldn't you call the police? I think most people would, but instead she let him call. And it seemed like that call wasn't recorded. I don't know. I haven't heard the call that he made to 911 that morning saying his son or stepson was missing. There were a couple items found in the search. There were some glasses, apparently near where the grandparents' house is. Is that what you all heard? Now, they said real quick those weren't Sebastian's, but maybe they were. I don't know. They also found a pair of black sweatpants. He was last seen in black sweatpants and a black shirt, his night clothes. They said that the pants they found, though, had white stripes, so they weren't his. Again, suspicious. Have the Proudfoots been involved in any of the searches that took place? TBI said no. Okay. Why weren't the parents involved in these searches? Or at least the mom and the stepdad? Why weren't they involved? Why weren't they searching for their child? What happened? Why wouldn't they do this? Seth came in. He said they were acting weird. In fact, one of the weirdest things that was that they never asked him, have you seen Sebastian? He went back and forth between their houses. Apparently, they're not that far apart. Wouldn't that be the first question you would ask? Chris Proudfoot was also real suspicious when asked did he take a lie detector test. It was pretty crazy. Right, Beach Bell. I feel really bad for him. It seems to me that Seth is genuinely concerned. He seems to display all of the emotions and is taking all the actions that, in my opinion, a parent would do. When he showed up for an interview, he was wearing a t-shirt, have you seen me, with in fact the last picture that he took of Sebastian plastered on it with a number to call. If your child's missing, wouldn't you be a walking billboard for that child? That makes sense. That makes sense. Apparently, both Seth and Katie now have taken lie detectors, but Chris, he said he claimed to have taken one, but he never did, and he still hasn't, as far as I know. If y'all know something different about the lie detector test, let me know. Then what the hell? Dog got called into the case and was talking about truth serum. Is there even such a thing? I don't know. That was a weird statement. All right, so in the beginning, search tips included checking, of course, at the usual places, his house, around his house. They brought in dogs, they brought in horses, they had aerial drones flying around, and none of these things led to anything. Literally, this child disappeared into thin air, but we know better. That's not what happened. There's been some tips to check out White House High School. They claim that Sebastian had ties there. That is not his high school. I don't know what ties he had. Maybe it was for some type of special ed. Maybe he knew some of the teachers or students over there. I never heard what ties those were. Do y'all know what ties he had at the White High School? They had tips to check out Westmoreland. Someone claimed on the Facebook page to know all about this, claimed that they saw a bite that Sebastian left in one of his stepdad's on his arm. This apparently was checked out and photographed over 10 days later, in which it was healed, and he did have a lot of marks on his arms. Bite marks? I don't know. I can't say. Did it look like it? The way it was displayed and showed in the picture that I saw, yes, it did. So Westmoreland was 27.27 miles away. So we're on the scene, kind of mapped up where it might be, and found Westmoreland. What's located in Westmoreland? I was watching True Crime Buzz, and what does she come up with? A natural cemetery. What is that, you might ask? This is where bodies are buried without coffins in a natural setting. We're talking about in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. They're dressed in what they call uh, uh, some type of shroud, biodegradable. I guess it helps with the decomposition of the bodies. It's but that's what's there. So God forbid this happen, but wouldn't that be a good place to bury a body in with other bodies? How would a cadaver know that particular body that you're looking for is there? There'd be so many. It's a sickening thought, and I hope that is not the case. I had never even heard of a natural cemetery. I didn't even know something like that was legal, but apparently it is, and this company actually owns a couple. I've also heard that Chris Proudfoot's family somehow has some type of um, funeral service, um, cemetery, something. If y'all know what that is, let me know in the chat, because I never did get the full story on that. In Westmoreland is also the smallest tunnel, the smallest one. That's how it's advertised in the Westmoreland Visitor Center packet, or whatever you might want to call. So I saw a picture of it. It is small. It's just a small little tunnel. But somehow you think tunnels and missing children, it's just a bad vibe, man. Tennessee. St. Jude's in Memphis is where CP runs a crane. What was crazy was he's claiming that he was on the crane at like 5 or 6 in the morning with, his radio dispatch ear pod in one ear and her in the other, telling him that Sebastian was missing. Do you think he was on the crane that early in the morning? I don't know. Did you hear him talk about burying a body in cement? It was so weird. Apparently he repave his driveway? And then someone said, "What the hell?" And he said, "Oh, you'd need more than 3 inches to bury a body." What? What? Crazy. There were tips saying that he was possibly in Oregon at Ford Pond. Now, as you all probably know, that in the midst of the search, the Proudfoots took off for where? Oregon. I think they went up to Alaska, actually, but they stopped, apparently, according to witnesses who recognized them, stating that they were at Ford Pond and that they were acting weird. They have an RV, and there just happens to be, according to Silver on the Scene, a KOA RV park approximately a mile from the pond. The 2 witnesses ID'd CP and KP as being there. A tip also came in that a person of interest was someone related by marriage to the Proudfoots. What's that about? About this time in the investigation, a lot of lawsuits started jumping up and coming in, claiming harassment, cyberbullying, and impeding and obstructing the actual interview. Now, they had brought in divers to check out that retention pond. Nothing was found. There's reports now saying that no canine ever caught a scent of the child, which led people to wonder, did he actually come home that night? Yeah, he was seen at Texas Roadhouse, but did he make it home? I have not seen any confirming evidence that he came home that night, and that's why that person with the green hoodie is being sought so hard, because he seems to be the last person to have interacted with Katie Proudfoot or Sebastian. What do you think is going on in this case? What do y'all think? It's such a mystery. Apparently, at night, private investigators have said that they have breaking information. This has not been released. As soon as it is, I'm going to get with you and let you know what's going on. I don't know. It doesn't really sound good. But we'll let you know what it is. We're going to keep hoping for the best. Keep your prayers for Sebastian and for these other missing people that I told you about today. Suzanne and her, especially children, who are numbered in 4, the youngest being 5, now without a mom, dad's in jail for attempt or for murder, and a list of other felonies. What's going on? There's also Jennifer Hawkins, 53 years old, a deaf nurse working in Lexington Federal Prison for over 10 years. Didn't make it to work that evening. Her car was found in Danville the next morning. Was it there the whole time? I don't know. Was it driven back by whoever perpetrated this crime, or was it driven by Jennifer herself? What's going on with this case? She was married for over 30 years, 36 years, had 6 kids, never had a history of running off or leaving, and from what I've heard, vanished into thin air. Where is she? Come on home, Jennifer. Your family needs you. Whatever's going on, I hope she comes home soon, and I hope she's well. Unfortunately, it looks like Suzanne has met a tragic end. Her husband's now being charged with murder, tampering with a corpse, although her body has not been found. So, again, big mysteries, hardly any clues. Let me know if y'all know anything about these cases or any other cases you might want brought to the light, because that's what Chevy Cool Lady does. I am a voice for the voiceless. I'm going to pick up where the media and law enforcement stops, because they stop short and like to call things cold cases or call things suicides or call things whatever and sweep it under the rug, apparently, especially according to my opinion in Tennessee. So we're going to keep these things on the forefront of everybody's mind. We're going to say these names: Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, Jennifer Hawkins, and Suzanne. And we're going to remember them and pray that these cases are resolved. And we're going to hope for the best. I love y'all. And y'all have a very blessed day. We'll see you later. Take care.